Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to, well, a slightly belated second edition of what will become a bit of a trend in the near future, and that is to take a look at some old world buildings that are relatively local to one or two of us here in the UK. When I say one or two of us, Ellie's down in Bournemouth visiting again, and of course it all falls in line with what we wanted to do and will be doing for the near and distant future, which is taking a close look at buildings like this. In front of us we have the Parkstone water tower. It's in a town called Poole, 5 miles to the west of Bournemouth on the south coast of England in a county called Dorset. And the astounding thing is that I never really paid attention to these buildings. But now that I have, and obviously got support in that, because it's not just me looking at it, obviously, we're starting to see a few interesting things and lots of things to question. So this here is slightly smaller. It's like a grade 2 version of the Boscombe water tower, if you like. Same height, roughly, I would say. But a little bit narrower, but the principles appear the same. Arched brickwork, arches that look like they've been bricked in, yet the brickwork looks like it's the original brickwork that was used, so it doesn't look like it's been bricked up afterwards. It looks like it's been bricked up when it was built, almost to make it look like it should look bricked up.
Yeah, absolutely.
For when questions come at a later date, right? And as you can see on the top, we have, well, something that's clearly been put up on a later date. Metal stairs and scaffolding, if you like, and some sort of wood, not wood and metal kind of tank on the top. It looks like a tank. It looks like it could cover a tank. And that would be one of the questions that I would be asking. And we asked it last time for the Boscombe water tower one, which was, if you were containing water, you wouldn't just have water behind these bricks or behind this door, would you? You'd have it in a container then in the building, which then leads to the next question, which is, well, how do you get that container in? Because you're not getting it in through here. And if we take a look around the building, you'll see a number of, no, you won't see a number of, you'll only see a couple of those entrances is what I meant to say, but take a look at this. So in the Boscombe one, we had some cladding, didn't we, on the bottom? Remember? Yeah. The brick wasn't exposed. On here, there's no cladding on it. It's just direct brickwork to be seen.
The windows, you can see.
But yeah, the windows, they look a little bit more,
Very good.
dare I say, original. I don't even know what that means, original, because the date when this was built was when?
1884.
1884, this was supposed to have been completed, correct?
Yeah.
Right. Now, we know from a website called brickarchitecture.com, and we'll put a link in the description as well for these sources, so that, because we're questioning the narrative, you see. No, but we're not standing here coming up with ideas in terms of making up stories. We're looking at the narrative and going, well, okay, if this was built in 1884, completed, yet the first mass brick making factories, certainly here in the UK, didn't arrive or weren't around up and running until 1885, then it obviously begs obvious questions. How on earth did they build this? Because before they had the mass production of bricks, according to official sources, stonemasons made their bricks on site. Made them by hand. You tell me if this looks like a few people made all this by hand.
Yeah, they made them on site.
Yeah, they made them on site according to the official narrative, right? I have to always state that. Now, I've only seen one entrance up to now.
Yeah, there is only one.
There's only one entrance. But take a look at that. Now, again, I'd like to know, where's the water being kept? The water must be in a container kept within this, right? Originally, that must be the official line. Now, we've looked online for all sorts of interior imagery of water towers. We couldn't really find any.
Can't find any.
Right? You can't find any photographs or anything of construction. Don't forget, photography was around by the 1880s, right? Because photography, when did that come into play? 1830s, 1840s, something like that, ironically enough. All around the same date, isn't it? But just look at that. And I mean, I know we can go on and marvel at it like it's a painting in the Louvre, you know, but at the end of the day, it is an astounding piece of architecture, considering the time it was built and considering the methods that were at our disposal according to the mainstream narrative. Never mind the tools, never mind the infrastructure to be able to supply any local houses with running water. What, in the 1900s? Really?
But these water towers are close to the where the workhouses were. Isn't that right?
That's right. That's another good point that Ellie brought up a while back, because we were looking at workhouses. Workhouses are something that gets mentioned a lot in Dickensian literature, you know, the Victorian literature of Oliver Twist and all that, right? And the workhouses, well, workhouses are often quite close to these sorts of installations as well, water towers and stuff. So there's clearly, these are buildings that were related in some way in their original forms, and of course have been repurposed, and all their purposes have been rewritten, you know. But it's just an astounding building.
It is stunning.
You know. And look at this, you only have the one entrance for the whole building. And it's not like they bricked up another entrance. They haven't. That is it. That one there, there's the door there. Right? And then if we go around here, let's have a look and see if there's any entrances that have been blocked off. And I don't believe they have. I'm just lifting the camera up a little bit to avoid showing you a car. Yeah, so there we have it. It's like there's one entrance. So did they airlift the tank through the top, did they? With the helicopters that Da Vinci drew? Because how on earth would you do that? It just wouldn't work. And that, of course, goes deep down at the ground as well, you can just see. And this wouldn't have been here, we said this last time, all this tarmacking and stuff, and all this here, these roads, they wouldn't have been here 140 years ago. Right? So you've got that old adage, that old problem of how do you get all that equipment here? How do you get all this gear here? Where was this manufactured? How was it transported? Who manufactured it? Who put it together? Where are the designs and the plans? And that's just for starters. But it's just an astounding building, I keep saying it.
So we're going to look more into these two towers, aren't we?
Well, we're going to look more into the two towers. There's only so much you can find out about the towers themselves, but what you can do is find out about all the other stuff, like the piping. You know, when were the irrigation systems in place to supply local housing with running water? There was no such thing as running water for housing in the 1850s or 1870s.
And if they used wooden piping, how was that treated? How did they?
Wooden piping, I know. I mean, try constructing a wooden pipe. You know, when your main worry is how to pay your local sheriff your 2 chickens a week so your family doesn't get disturbed. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah. But we wanted to bring that because this is, again, an astounding building. I repeat myself there, but, you know, that happens to you of a certain age. But anyway. Old fogey. But look at that there as well. You got those, what is that design there? Those 3 circular things.
They go round.
What were they went for? That is that just decorative?
I don't know, because are they on the other side as well, aren't they, I think? They're like go all around the building.
Now, that metal bit that's on the top has been added. Must have been. But there may have been something on the top of that before that. There's a similar thing with the Boscombe Water Tower, isn't it? Yeah. It looks like a plinth. It looks like they've taken something off the top. Yeah, just like they've taken something off the top.
But what is it like inside?
What is it like inside? And now the Boscombe one, oops, my finger was in the way of the camera there, very unprofessional. The Boscombe one, we couldn't really see inside, could we? We could get.
No, but that's been now changed into apartments.
Well, that's been changed into apartments.
This apparently is on when you look online.
Yeah.
Apparently there's planning for it to be turned into 17 apartments. But right now, I would imagine it is just the same state.
Yeah, and I'd like to have a look in that and see what's inside it. Is it just a shell of a building?
Yeah.
You know, is there any way you could have a look through those windows to see what's behind the glass?
They're boarded up. So
They're boarded up, yeah. So they don't even want you looking through the window. Right, so, but yeah, if you look at this brickwork here on the archways, that looks like it's been bricked up at a later date, but it hasn't, because the brickwork is identical. It's of identical texture,
it's not
age. It's not newer bricks
No.
to the bricks next to it. But it's complex, even little things like this, look. You know, angled as well.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, they haven't just plonked up a brick building to contain it with water. You know, it's like there's something else going on here. Most definitely something else going on here. And if you look at all the other water towers that are around that actually use as water towers, none of them resemble these buildings. They're all just on stilts or on whatever. And they're literally just basic vessels, aren't they?
Why would they have windows?
Why would they have windows? You wouldn't have windows in a water tower, would you?
No.
So what's going on there? But anyway, questions upon questions, but we thought we'd bring you that. You know, after 19 days travelling, we finally got here.
We are putting stuff together though, aren't we?
I'm just kidding about 19 days. We are putting stuff together. We're in the process of doing it now. But this video is going to go out, and then we're going to put a promo out to introduce, may as well say it, a new channel.
A new channel.
A new channel that's going to be coming soon. And, well, it'll be where it's at.
Yeah, where it's at.
Literally.
Literally.
But anyway, there we go. Thought we'd just bring you that. Was there anything I forgot just on the face value of things?
No, I think
So
that's pretty
the key dates are 1885 is when the mass manufacturing of bricks
Yeah.
started in the UK
Yeah.
or England.
This was completed apparently in 1884.
This was 1884 it was completed. Now, even if it was completed in a year that there was a brick making manufacturer, they have to then understand that there are lots of these around, not just one. So they would have had to have supplied the whole region, and there were no roads, there were no, you know, there's nothing there to support that. So, yeah,
Questions upon questions.
questions upon questions. But we thought we'd just bring that, because I find it absolutely fascinating. And you know, you look at a monster of a building like this, and then look at the cheap housing across the road. You know, basic.
Where it's at.
Basic.
They're cute though.
They're cute, they're very nice, but they're nothing compared to this monster though, are they?
No.
And we went past another building on the way up here, didn't we?
We did.
And we're going to check that out as well at some stage. Might not do it today, but we will definitely do that as well. Anyway, there we go.
Go back that way.
Yeah, we could do. We might drive past it and stop and just do a quick video on that as well. But anyway, there we go. Thought we'd just bring that. So that, ladies and gentlemen, was Parkstone Water Tower, completed in 1884, even though brick manufacturing, mass production style, didn't kick in this country until 1885, according to the official sources like brickarchitecture.com.
Yeah.
So, discrepancies are quite obvious there, aren't they? Anyway, there we go. From a little bit of a nippy, overcast, windy Poole,
Slightly chilly. Isn't it?
slightly chilly, but we had a good breakfast and all that, didn't we?
Big breakfast. Right?
We had a big brekkie,
Yum yum.
yeah, lots of coffee and tea,
Yeah.
and that's it. So we're going to head off now and probably get some.
We had nice orange juice too.
We did have nice orange juice. It was all right, wasn't it?
It was.
It's quite nice. And oh, I never had black pudding with me.
We can have it tomorrow. Can't we?
Have it tomorrow. Questions upon
I
questions.
don't eat black pudding.
You don't eat black pudding.
I'm not a black pudding fan.
You're not a black pudding sort
It's like
of
eating
gal.
a large scab. No thanks.
Well, I don't know. It could be seen as that, or you could just say it's like eating black pudding, couldn't you? Anyway, on that culinary note,
It's goodbye from him.
and it's goodbye from her. Speak to you all soon. Ta-ta.